What's up, guys? Checking in here on April 4th, 4-4. It's been a few days. I got some catching up to do. I'll probably be doing multiple videos today, actually. One on health and vaccines, another one on science and space and whatnot. This one here is going to be on political happenings. So we'll be bringing up various investigations and lawsuits, things about Q, some Q connections, Q proofs, and some other events, some other things going on in the mainstream media. So it's going to be fun. Let's get started. First of all, shout out to a sponsor of this channel in Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is a VPN, a virtual private network service, and a VPN is helpful for many different things. Number one, it keeps your data secure when you're sending it over the internet. Number two, this one's especially helpful lately, a VPN can help you bypass censorship restrictions. So, for example, say you're in New Zealand and the state of New Zealand is banning access to websites like, say, 8chan. What you can do is, with your VPN, make your IP address log into that website from somewhere else. So you can change your IP address to America, for instance. You can still log into 8chan from America. So with a VPN, you can tunnel into that website from elsewhere, bypass censorship. So VPN, helpful for many different things. It's very easy to use and very cheap. Virtual Shield has a special going on right now where you can get it for just $3 a month for 24 months. So if you want to take advantage of that deal, you can check the description down below. So to begin, we've got a new month, new count. Let's talk about the sealed court records from around the country. Shout out to In the Matrix for supplying us with this tweet here. It says, March 2019 update to the sealed indictments. In the month of March, we had just over 6,000 new added to the list, bringing the total count up to 88,350 entered in the 17 months between October 2017 and March 2019. This gives us an average of about 5,500 per month. Now, I think it's wise to assume that not all of these court records will be for deep state cult members. You know, some of these might be for low-level stuff. Court records get sealed, then unsealed a short time later. But the fact that this is not dropping, this count is not plateauing, you know, every single month, we're getting between 5,000 and 6,000 new sealed court records added to the list. And this has been a steady increase for 17 months. What can you really say to that other than massive things going on behind the scenes? And it's likely that a good portion of these are still sealed because they're going to be for high-level crimes. There's not much the shills really have to say about this, you know? You can go on to Pacer and count these yourself. If you have access to the Pacer records, or you know somebody that does, you can go on, you can count the districts, and you can find that, wow, there are a lot of sealed court cases from around the country. So this is one piece of many pieces of evidence that let us know that massive things are going on behind the scenes. And what's incredible is that soon, it's not going to be behind the scenes. It's going to be at the forefront of the public consciousness. Check out this article from the Washington Times that came out a few days ago. Earlier this week. It's about, wow, John Huber. Speaking of those sealed court records, Huber has been working with a team of about 470 investigators since about that exact same time. The end of 2017 there. What a coincidence. The same time that these sealed indictments began getting racked up. But this article by the Washington Times is just asking the question, basically, what's Huber been up to? And what I find intriguing is that we get an article like this seeping out, leaking out very subtly into the mainstream media every few months or so, just keeping John Huber, keeping this idea in the public's consciousness. And when you read into this article, it's great, you know. Don't confuse the Washington Times with the piece of shit Washington Post. Washington Post sucks. The Washington Times does much better journalism. And in this article here, again, it's basically saying, what's Huber been up to? Not much has been told about Huber's investigations. They even interview Representative Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan says, where's Waldo? Like, where's Huber? Huber is, quote, under scrutiny, they're sort of saying in this article, but absolutely, you know, please bring Huber under scrutiny. We need more scrutiny there, more eyes on what Huber's really been up to, right? And I think that's sort of the goal behind these sorts of articles we're seeing come out about Huber. It's getting it into the public's consciousness. It's basically preparing them to start hearing Huber's name a lot more. Also, another funny thing about this article, it sure mentions Jeff Sessions quite a bit. Jeff Sessions installing Huber. Remember that? Trust Sessions? Yeah, Sessions did exactly what he needed to do. Install Huber, do what's necessary, get out of there, allow for the new Attorney General to come into place with the cards in his hand, you see? So Huber's name is going to be much more widely known very shortly. I don't doubt that. Hammer about to drop. And let's move on into talking about some neat Q proofs, Q confirmations. Sarah Carter was on Fox News a few days ago on Mark Levin's show, and Sarah Carter dropped some huge references to things we've been hearing in Q's drops for months. Sarah Carter was talking about General Flynn. Of course, General Flynn deserves a pardon, deserves to be acquitted of his crimes. You know, they are smearing that man's name. Sarah Carter was talking about that, but she also made a reference right here. She said, General Flynn knows where the bodies are buried in Washington, D.C. Huh. Where have we heard that before? 8chan? Totally heard it on 8chan before. And again, the shills can say what they want, but the proofs speak for themselves. All these pieces of evidence we have speak for themselves. All of these basically confirmations, proofs, whatever you want to call them, the fact that Q is being shown to be connected to the Trump administration and that a lot of high-profile people follow it, believe in it, research from it, the truth just speaks for itself. So Sarah Carter saying some good stuff about General Flynn and good things there on Fox News. And again, another thing that she was saying on Fox News a few weeks ago, she referenced the sealed indictments. She referenced big things coming, right? April's going to be a good month. The reason we know it's going to be a good month is because how much just attacks there are in the mainstream media and the alternative media too. I mean, I'm sure you've seen those shill hordes on Twitter and on YouTube get activated. But the mainstream media, of course, doing their own shilling. And they're shilling against President Trump every single day. But William Barr lately has been in their crosshairs. William Barr and Mueller, they're throwing Mueller under the bus too. You know, once they find out that Mueller didn't say what they wanted him to say, he was gone. They didn't care about him anymore. It's all about their agenda. So you can see all of these articles coming out about Barr. The House is even subpoenaing Barr, calling for the whole of the Mueller report to be released, which, don't worry, Q and Trump team have absolutely planned for that. We've heard of that in Q's drops, and it's like they wouldn't plan for that, right? So there we go. There's nothing to worry about. It's going to be another nothing burger. It's going to dash their hopes and dreams yet again. Deep State's hopes and dreams of anything to avoid their impending downfall. And then some deep staters getting lit up in the media. Biden here. I'm sure you've seen all of these videos going around about creepy Uncle Joe Biden. Don't let him around any sort of child. He'll put his arms on those shoulders and smell their ear, right? Well, Joe Biden, all sorts of people talking about his antics. Put the pedo to the metal. And wasn't it Jeff Sessions who slapped creepy Uncle Joe's hand away from a young girl a few years ago? Like, get out of there. Get out of there. Yeah, trust Sessions, right? I would trust a child around Jeff Sessions much more than Joe Biden. It's incredible to see the fake news media accept his apologies. It's just ridiculous. Like, okay, hashtag Me Too, hashtag Believe the Victims, hashtag all these things, right? But when it comes to, oh my God, sexual abuse allegations coming out against one of their own, they'll protect them. They'll accept the apologies. It's okay. Let's just brush that under the rug and move on. It's absurd. Now moving on into NXIVM. So we were talking about investigations with Huber, the sealed indictments. Now let's move on into huge things coming out about the NXIVM case this week. A NXIVM member admitting to enslaving women for 2 years. So we've got multiple people in the NXIVM case working with prosecutors. They're starting to plead guilty. They're starting to tell what they know. Lauren Salzman here, the daughter of NXIVM president and co-founder, making the plea. Some other people, it's said, are in talks with prosecutors for plea deals. So a lot of news coming out about NXIVM, and that's exactly why they want to keep the jurors secret. So prosecutors and defense lawyers want to keep the jurors secret, not let their names get out into the public, because NXIVM case, I mean, it's already huge. It's already a massive court case, but I think it's going to get even bigger. As these plea deals happen, as we find out more, as it gets confirmed, it's going to take down many more names, and we're going to get a lot more information come out into the mainstream. And we have to protect the people involved in this court case as well. So jurors being secret, we're going to be figuring out a lot more about NXIVM later this month. I believe April 29th, opening statements are set to kick off. So next few months, very revealing there. Moving on into a situation out of Mar-a-Lago. So a Chinese woman, get this, Chinese woman was arrested by security, and she had 4 cell phones, 2 passports, a laptop, a hard drive. This hard drive had malware on it. Talk about weird situation. I mean, spy. Totally looks like a spy. Totally looks like an espionage operation there, trying to infiltrate Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. There's been a federal probe open to this. I saw that yesterday. A federal probe has been opened into this situation. But shoot, 4 cell phones, 2 passports, bunch of malware. You can connect the dots right there. Next story, let's talk about the San Francisco just weird situation. I don't even know what to call this. A sword-wielding man in a MAGA hat cutting a victim is what Newsweek claims it is. But I have a lot of questions about this particular situation. So let's get into the allegations, the claim, the story that they're saying happened. San Francisco PD and the mainstream media here are saying that a dude in a MAGA hat got into an altercation with somebody there in San Francisco last weekend, Friday night, and ended up pulling out a sword. Dude in the MAGA hat pulled out a sword, cut the other guy, and ran off. Here's a photograph. You can see the MAGA hat there and then red stuff on the pavement. What they say is blood. But wow, how opportune. The MAGA hat just placed right there in front of the blood, and then suspect takes off. And here's the thing I noticed about all the mainstream media articles I've read on this. They don't name the victim. They don't say where the victim was taken to. They don't name the suspect. I don't know if they've captured the suspect. It's just, nothing makes sense. It doesn't seem like it's a real situation at all. And to be frank, many of these occurrences that happen like this, the guy driving on to the Hoover Dam in an armored truck holding up the Q sign. We had another sword incident in Seattle with the brother slasher who was a Q follower. You know, all of these are just, they seem so fabricated. And I would not be surprised if they are. Fabricate them, very convenient story to run in the media for their agenda. And there's always some unanswered questions, some things missing, okay? Who is the suspect? Who is the victim? In the brother slasher sword story out of Seattle, that individual, the one that was seeing reptilians and hallucinating and stuff as he killed his brother, he was talking about being gang stalked on his YouTube channel. Mind controlled? Voice of God technology? Maybe. Here, no name of the victim, no name of the suspect. And you think if a situation happened like this and they didn't catch the suspect right off, they would be looking for him. Here's some money if you catch him. Here's his name. Here's some surveillance footage. Here's something to try to help them find it. Here's also the name of the victim. You'd think that there would be a huge GoFundMe or something. Some big, if there was a real victim behind this. So it's just, nothing makes sense. I think this was total fabrication. And speaking of fabrication, speaking of acting, last thing I'm going to share with you guys here, let's talk about Alex Jones. Alex Jones blaming psychosis for conspiracy theories. Alex Jones, InfoWars. Ooh, talk about a false idol that a lot of people have in Alex Jones. And this is a perfect example of what he is used for, why, and how they use him as controlled opposition. Meaning that they control him. He's not really a hardcore truth talker. Like, he's very surface level on many things. There's a lot of stuff he doesn't even talk about. Very important things he doesn't talk about. And he's very crazy. He's very angry. He's very ungrounded in the way he goes about telling his narratives. So this makes for a very easy way for the mainstream media to run articles on him saying he's crazy, conspiracy theorists are nuts, don't be like Alex Jones, here's the false things he says. I mean, you can see the modus operandi in plain sight right there. So be careful of those false idols, guys. Be careful who you follow, truly. Don't really follow anybody, Only follow your own intuition, your own gut, your own mind. Get information from other people, those who you find full of substance, resourceful, those who you like their character, they inspire you, they share good information. But don't believe everything they say. Research it for yourself, and you'll start to see, as your discernment skill gets honed more and more, the shills will become more and more obvious to you. It'll be very easy for you to spot them on YouTube, on Twitter, on their radio shows, on the primetime networks, in their interviews, on their streaming services, whatever the case is. So there you go, guys. We talked about sealed indictments. We talked about Huber, Sarah Carter, Flynn, Biden, NXIVM, a lot of stuff. Thank you for watching. Appreciate your support. Be much more coming very soon. Thanks, guys. Take care.